Hey everybody, this is Brett, and yeah, it's kind of a somber time for me. The moon is full, and whenever I know the moon is full, I'm kind of like, yeah, how do you feel? And tonight I feel just kind of tired, physically, mentally, emotionally. The moon is in Leo right now, and I have a lot of Leo energy. And so it's not surprising that I would want to be performing as a Leo does on a full moon. Hi, Diana. But I'm not like all joyful, really. I've written down a bunch of things that I want to talk about. I don't know how long I really want to talk tonight, but I definitely want to mention Mitt Romney and equate that with my grandfather. And I want to talk about the new toothbrushes that I'm using because they're really good. I can't get no satisfaction. That's no new story really for me. I can't find a good camera person to help me. And that's not a new story either. I'm so bored. That's been going on for my whole life. I have some ideas for why I'm so bored, but I don't really know for sure. Finally, I got the haircut right. I'm addicted to the news. Yes, that's kind of an on and off thing with me. Still no eggs. You attract into your life what you are projecting. I can give you some examples of that with me or things that I've seen lately. Coronavirus survivors fasting naturally. I think I look old. A couple of specials that I'm running on my website. I can't talk about certain things. I'm afraid of the future, and I'm getting healthier but paying a price. I gave up on love. Thank God I'm a smart ass, and I don't know what's going to happen to me. So, I thank God that I'm a smart ass, because if I weren't able to be like, have an attitude the way that I do with this world, I don't think there's any way that I could maintain my sanity. If I didn't have humor, and that's what's really so difficult for me with the videos, because I've spent all this money on video camera equipment, and I've just been biting at the bit to be able to make some comedy videos and probably some comedy help videos. But I don't have anybody to shoot the videos for me, and they're hidden camera videos, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I mean, I put an ad, I started a meetup group even. YouTube comedy videos. Only 2 people joined, and nothing panned out from that. So, yeah. Thank God I'm a smart ass. I'm afraid of the future because my views are down. I looked at my views recently, and in the last couple of months, they're down again half. I was getting, like, before this year, I was getting about 4,000 views a day. Now I'm getting about 2,000 views a day. And they just keep dwindling and dwindling. And so my YouTube check every month goes down. And my sales go down, and everything to do with me. So YouTube was basically the way that I made money, whether it be from the income from the ads that were run on the videos, or increasingly the video or the products that I was selling through my ads. And so now those are half as many as they were just a month and a half ago. Not even that. So I don't know what's going to happen to me, and I'm afraid of the future. Those are the things. And also, I'm really kind of just like I'm like dismayed constantly. I'm constantly dismayed with the world that I live in for a lot of different reasons. And I wish that I don't, I often wish that I don't even live here. And why was I put here? And I can tell you that ever since I quit eating mass-produced chicken, I've been on a continual detox, and really it's been fairly difficult. If I didn't do the psyllium shakes every morning, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. I'd definitely have to do enemas. So yeah, I've been getting healthier, but paying a price. That's the other thing. And these are all kind of connected. Half the time I look like I'm beat to shit. I don't look healthy. And today I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like, oh my God, I look so old. I look so fucking old. And I'm crossing my fingers that that's just because I'm doing a lot of releasing of toxicity from having such a relatively clean diet, even though I'm really like living on peanut butter and fruit. And I'm eating a decent amount of fish too, but not eating any wheat or dairy or mass-produced meat, those three things, or any like processed foods at all. It still pushes me. It's amazing. After almost, like, I quit sugar, processed sugar, almost 30 years ago. Something like that, 28, 29 years ago. And so if you had told me that I would still be cleansing like this that long after. See, it's not just the diet though, it's the lifestyle and the air quality and the water and everything. Because see, when I look back, I think to myself, wow, I can't even believe that I lived like that. In all honesty, I can't believe that I lived on a busy street like that. Because if I just go into Asheville, sometimes the air will just bug me, seriously, or noise and stuff. And I mean, I know that that'll get better as my body gets like cleaner and not my blood is not as toxic constantly. And bear in mind, it's by no means even close to what it was when I first moved to the country. I mean, just changing my air was so ridiculously crazy for me. It was so crazy. And, I'm not saying that like to scare people. I'm just saying it because that's how it was. And if it scares you, I'm sorry. You should be watching somebody else, because this is like a reality program. This is full on reality when you watch me. And so the other thing on the back page is that I gave up on love. And I've had a few girls in my life. Like, I could tell that they were like intentionally trying to get me to, like, they'd look into my eyes and this and that, and they'd intentionally try and push me to love them, And I can't say that I've really loved anybody to the point of where I was very serious about that. I can say that I have loved women before, but I've never met anybody where I would be like, yeah, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. And after I became a massage therapist, I was, and I would work on people, a lot of women, women that certainly like would fantasize about me being lovers with them, etc., whatever. I came to realize that there aren't really, like, how you grow up with the people telling you, mostly women telling you, that someday that special person will come into your life, the one and only. And maybe that's true for some people if they really want to believe that, but that's not what I believe. I think that there are God knows how many people out there, for most people, that would work out to one degree or another with a relationship. But really, I think that if we were brought up with a mindset and an attitude that we could have multiple lovers, we could have multiple, they could be friends, multiple lovers, etc., etc., that that would be just as good or better for a lot of us, depending on how you are. If you're the kind of a person that's satisfied with certain things, that you don't get bored. We're going to talk about my boredom in a little while, and maybe y'all can, some of you can relate to this. But if you're the kind of a person that gets bored with things, including people, then you're not the kind of a person that really should be getting married, in my opinion, because people are a smorgasbord. And the different kinds of people, the different kinds of personalities and bodies and attitudes and lovemaking, all the variables with that. If you really like a variety of things in your life, it's just not good. Like, look at all the people that have cheated on their spouses. And that's really what it is. When you're so dishonest that you tell somebody else that you want them just to be the only one, but deep down in your soul that you really don't. That's really being dishonest. And you know me, I just hate dishonesty. And that's why I can't stand Donald Trump. I mean, dishonesty just makes me feel bad. Okay, I'm a Cancer. And cancers are, the main word to remember with a Cancer is feel and emotions. And so, like right now, the moon is full, and the moon is all about feelings and emotions. And Cancer rules the moon. Or is it that the moon rules Cancer? But they say that regardless, they're the most related. They're very related. That sign versus that planet. It's not really a planet, but you know what I mean. So, okay, I'll read a few comments. You will find love. No, you gave up on it. That's the way it works. Hey, Brett, I hope all is well. You're a handsome man. Thank you. I know a lady who loves comedy. I will send her to you. She also does camera work. Oh, that sounds cool. If I was there, I would be your cameraman. Thanks, Diana. Thank God you're a smart ass. If you really think your YouTube is going to keep going down, why don't you get a job at what it best about a massage therapist? You know everything, smartest guy ever. Well, I'm not a licensed massage therapist anymore, and I really don't want to do massage much anymore. And as for getting a job, that doesn't work well for me. It never has, and it never will. It's just one of those things that I know is with me. It's just like a serious, like, monogamous relationship. It's just I know that doesn't work for me, working for somebody else. So, Brett, do you know about lymph nodes? Those aren't things that I'm really talking about here. So, let's go back to the first thing, and that's Mitt Romney. And the other day, during the whole impeachment thing, I would turn it on for just a few minutes, And I think that I'm really clairvoyant because every time I just happened to turn it on, something significant was happening. And I was like, wow, that is crazy because I'm only watching this for 15 minutes a day. But guess what? I just happened to turn it on just before Mitt Romney talked. And I sat there with tears in my eyes, seriously. And that's because I had heard that he was going to buck the Republicans. And when he started just saying the truth, his speech was just basically saying that Trump did everything that he did. And if you haven't seen it, you should. You should go watch it. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it because for me, like I said, the truth is just so important for me, at least in certain things, you know. And so when I saw him just come out and so bravely state the truth, I was like, wow, because you see, that's not just him talking, although it is. But it's also that he lives in Utah now. He doesn't live in Massachusetts. He's a senator in Utah. He's a Mormon. I grew up Mormon. I grew up partially in Utah half my life, my younger life. And so it actually almost, even though I asked for it to be excommunicated a long, long time ago from the Mormon Church because I don't grasp, I don't believe in the things that they believe. And I had a degree of anger towards the church for a lot of reasons. But, you know, I was almost proud. I was seriously almost proud of the Mormon Church and Mitt Romney. So, anyways, I wanted to tell you that my grandpa was a total Republican. Business owner. He owned a grocery store in my hometown. I didn't live in my hometown for long, just like 6 months as a baby, but I was born in this town in Utah. My grandpa owned the grocery store there. It's just a small town, 10,000 people. And my grandpa had a lot of integrity, okay? There's no way in hell that even though my grandpa was a Mormon, that he would be a Trump supporter. There's no way. Even though my grandpa would be all for a businessman being president, it would not happen that he would ever be a fucking Trump supporter. I can tell you that with no doubt in my mind. And you know, I don't even care about those bastards that still support him. Any of you that are still supporting Donald Trump, you can watch somebody else on YouTube. You can all fuck off. I don't even care. And that's what I think. That's what I think about him and the people that are lying out their asses. You know, that Donald Trump is even close to somebody that's being ethical or has principles or values that weigh anything. He has business common sense, and he does things to protect the country. Great, great. At what price? At what price? I've been telling you this from day one. Long before he became the president, I never had a taste for Donald Trump. Never. Never. And so that's my thoughts on that. And the next thing is toothbrushes, because I found a pretty good toothbrush. And it's all natural. Before, I was able to find a natural bristle toothbrush, but not the handle, and or vice versa. And there are very, very few toothbrushes out there that have both. And this one is one of them. It may be the only one. It's got a nice handle. I wish the head on it were bigger, but the brushes are fairly stiff, and because the head is not too big, you can massage or you can brush individual teeth fairly well. And yeah, it comes in packs of 6 that looks like this. It's a cylinder with 6 toothbrushes for 21 something on Amazon. And I put the link in the description box down below. And that's one of my affiliate links. So if you buy through that link, then I'll get a little commission, like 4% or something. So, oh, another thing with that toothbrush is that any of these natural toothbrushes, the bristles will come out sometimes. And if you see them like coming out, just go like that and pull them out. Initially, they were shedding a few, but now they don't seem to be shedding any. And I've read some comments on Amazon about this, and sometimes some of them say that it does happen. But I've had this for a couple of weeks now, and I think it's a good toothbrush. I think it was worth a try, and you get 6 of them for 22 bucks. Okay, so I still can't get no satisfaction, and I'm so bored. Okay. And when I was a kid, and I may have told you this, but when I was a kid, I would say to my mom, "Mom, I'm bored." And you know, you guys, what? I'm still bored. And I think that, like, I'll think about going to the bars in Asheville, and I've done that for God knows how so long. But it just sounds boring to me. Drinking and listening to music. I mean, sure, I like to dance with girls and mingle and stuff. But I don't like to be around alcoholics. Alcoholics are just drinking. I just don't like to be around it. It's just like, you know? So, as you can imagine, when I tell people all of these things that I tell them, a lot of people are offended. They might be a Trump supporter, or they might be a drinker, blah, 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 whatever. But you know what? That's just how I feel. I called somebody the other day, phone soliciting. You know how I call people and talk to them, and if they have any questions about health or if they're interested in any of my products, then it's good to talk to people on a personal level. And hope my mind is working half decent tonight. I noticed that it wasn't for the last couple of weeks, and so I've been drinking ginkgo tea for the last couple of days, so hopefully it's clicking a little better. But anyways, yeah, I can't get any satisfaction, and I'm so bored. And I don't really want to go do the typical people do, go out and have dinner, go to a bar, go whatever. I like to dance, but not at the expense of hanging around with drinkers. So that's why I really want to make comedy videos, because it's like interesting. It's so much more interesting to go out and make hidden camera videos. I thought of one idea the other day. It's just a really, really stupid and but probably funny idea, of where I just make weird sounds. Like I go and sit amongst a bunch of people in public, and then all of a sudden I just blurt out some kind of a weird sound. And then casually stand up away. I mean, it would be really fun. It would be really funny. And you know how I don't really like people that much? Because I don't find that I have a lot of things in common with people. I mean, I do, but I don't. But I just think that people are so damn stupid, and I don't know. I just like to make fun of them. And I hope that that doesn't sound too bad to y'all, but I'm just telling you how I feel. Like when I was a kid, I was always the class clown. I'd make comments that would just be like, I'd have everyone under the tables laughing. And I'd get a whooping or something. You know, when I lived in Arizona, they still belted people. No, they had paddles. And in Phoenix, they had paddles in the 70s. And if you did something wrong, you'd get paddled. And that was never the case in Utah or California, but yeah, in Arizona they had that. And did anybody else get paddled when they were at school for doing something? But yeah, I always, some of the teachers, whatever. I'm gonna move on. I'm addicted to the news. So yeah, I think that because I felt like, for different reasons, I'm addicted to the news. I've actually sometimes watched the news twice in a day. I almost always watch PBS at 6 o'clock, and sometimes I watch NBC in the morning on the internet. I don't have television, and I haven't watched television for a long, long time, over 10 years. But I like to watch PBS because I think that it helps me to be more compassionate. Because PBS is the very oftentimes, most of the stories they do are bleeding hearted and very liberal. And I feel as though I really need to absorb more of that and be more in that way, if you know what I mean. And that's kind of the reason that I think that I like to watch PBS. But PBS is also a lot of the stories and a lot of the attitudes are not too biased, and I like that. For the most part, I like it to be that they're allowing you to make up your own mind. I do not like to watch CNN or Fox. Those are the extremists on both sides. Those are the ones that are constantly trying to sway you in their direction. But sometimes I do like to watch them a little bit, but I can only stand so much of it. Like Rachel Maddow, there's an energy about her, and some of the what's that one on Fox? There's several of them on Fox. The guy in the 35 to 40, and he's got a brown hair, and he looks really conservative, and I can't remember his name. Some of those people are just, you know, I can't stand anyone that's too far left or too far right. It just nauseates me. And that's why I really think that it would be best. Like for me, I think Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg, those are the two that I like. And and Bernie has a certain thing about him of honesty, and he sticks with his values. And I do believe that we're moving towards a society that's a mixture of capitalist and socialist. We're definitely moving in that direction. But in order for us to have a socialist society, people have to be a lot more responsible. People have to step up and take a lot of the responsibility. You see, all those CEOs, not all of them, but a lot of those CEOs out there and people that have a degree of money, a lot of money, are that way not just because they inherited it, but because they've really worked their asses off. And that's another thing I want to talk about with what I've been doing lately. But in order for society to become more independent, they have to become more responsible and take up some of the slack. And you can't just to get rid of health care, which is not health care. People have to start becoming healthy for real. Like real health care, which is self-care for the most part. And hopefully most of you agree with me with that, and that's why you watch me. But in any case, I'm addicted to the news, and some of it I think that I'm addicted to because I have like a genuine interest and a genuine caring in the issues, and that I want to energetically and spiritually help the world as much as I can. But at the same time, I think that the reason that I watch some of the news is to be cynical. I'll laugh and swear and make jokes about the whole thing, etc. And that's just kind of going back to the whole smartass thing. I have to be a smartass, and that's just how I am. It's just what it requires for me to be able to maintain my degree of sanity, which is really not that high. I mean, it is compared to most people, I think, in my opinion. But oftentimes I'll just be like singing stupid songs, asinine songs, making fun of people and things with swearing little stupid songs and stuff. And if you heard some of them, you would probably laugh, or you would think that I was nuts. But that's why I'm going to want to make comedy videos, because it's like I need to release. It's like I need to cut loose some of my nutsoid tension, if you know what I mean. But I really do enjoy making products for people that order them. And right now I have my Millet Pillows on sale. The undyed pillows are on sale for $45 freaking dollars. Okay, I'm taking a cut. I'm taking a cut here, y'all. 45 bucks. If you don't have one of my Millet Pillows, you definitely, like, now's the time. You definitely should buy one. And if you live in the East, the shipping won't be too much. If you live in the West, then it will be more. But Millet Pillows are not light. They're heavy. And that's why, and they're big. So that's why they cost a degree to ship them. So, get some water. The best people are insane. Thanks, Jennifer, I think. Yeah, people that say that they're sane, I don't know about that. MGTOW, great, whatever that means. Not padded, but other kids did in front of the class. Not paddled, but other kids did in front of the class. Okay. What makes you prefer a natural toothbrush? It's just like the same thing with everything else. Like, especially when it comes to your body, your skin, your mouth. Your mouth has skin on the inside of it. And I don't want any synthetic clothes to be touching my skin. I minimalize that, and I always look for cotton or wool or something natural. And I don't want to brush my teeth with nylon. It just doesn't feel good compared to a natural boar's hair toothbrush. This just feels so much better. And even touching the wood, like, I don't eat with a metal spoon anymore. I haven't eaten with metal spoons for God knows how long. And that's why I put those wood spoons on my miscellaneous items page on my website. There's these really cool wood spoons that I like to eat with. They're like, I don't know, they're a buck or two a piece, but they last quite a long time, and they feel and look so much better. They're bamboo spoons, and I like a bamboo handle. That just feels so good to me. And I like to use a wooden bristle hairbrush too. I like natural things. And when you sit down, what do you think in your heart you really should proceed in your life to maintain your happiness? I don't know. That's really what I was thinking today. Like, what do I really need to be happy? Because I think today that I just wasn't very happy, and that's why I was asking myself that question. I just felt kind of worn out today, kind of tired of it all. But like I said, the moon really affects me when it's full. The moon was full at 2 something this morning. So it's just past being full, but it's still very, very full. And it always affects me for several days, usually after, but maybe just a little bit before also the full moon. So I'm just I try and be prepared for when it's coming around. So I still don't have any eggs from my birdies yet, but it snowed yesterday. It was really cold. And this year it hasn't snowed very much at all. It only snowed total maybe a couple of inches total the whole year. Usually we'll get an average of 13 inches of snow in the mountains of North Carolina. We usually have at least 1 or 2 like significant snows that are more than 4 inches. But this year we have not even had one. And that is okay with me. Because like I was telling somebody that was over here getting a pillow the other day that I really want to live in a beautiful tropical place. But I don't want to have to deal with hurricanes, and I don't want to have to deal with people stealing my stuff, stealing things from me, and so many of those Latin countries down south, that's how it is, a lot of that. Costa Rica is probably one of the better ones, but in any case, still no eggs for me, but they'll get going with it soon. I switched them to layer formula, the feed, the grains. And I think that they put extra calcium in it for the shell thickness, the shells. I don't know what else they put in it, but still no eggs. The next thing is that you attract into your life what you are projecting. So sometimes I think to myself that, and I know a lot of you have commented that you like it when I get really aggressive in my videos. I think a lot of people have stopped watching me because I'm not as freaking crazy as I used to be. And you can expect that that's how it's going to get more and more. And so if you're desiring of adrenaline, an adrenaline rush from watching somebody on YouTube, you're not going to get it as much as I once did, And it's not going to be as emotional. It's not going to be as much of a roller coaster around here. That's just how it is, because I'm moving towards the center. And yes, there are going to be things that I get passionate about and make a statement, etc. But that's generally how it's going to be. So that's another reason why I don't know where I'm going, because I'm constantly changing. I'm telling you, change is scary. It's really scary. And sometimes I think to myself, okay, if I were to move, like what would I take and what would I not? And where would I go and what would I do? And those thoughts go through this head probably at least every other day, but probably more like every day. And lately, multiple times a day, those particular thoughts. And then I usually think to myself, well, I don't really have an ability to move anywhere now. Like I once had $1,800 a month in YouTube income coming in, and now it's going down to like a couple of $100 a month. So where I once felt really a lot more secure in that regard financially, now I'm just kind of like. So what I've been doing is digging deep. I've been really digging deep, y'all. And I've been trying to work on my website. And if you go to my website and you look at the pictures, they all have captions. Most of them have captions now describing specifically why my products are better and why they should buy them, and how healthy they are, etc., etc. Hi, Christ, Bosch. Why is your YouTube money going down? Well, Jennifer, you haven't watched my videos for very long, and so you don't know. So you should go back through my videos and see if you can find out why my YouTube video income has gone down. But you know, things go, and that's really just how it is. That's really how it is. And you have to just expect change in your life. You also have to know who you are and what you're able to do and what you're capable of. And so it's hard not to be scared. It's hard not to be scared. I've been also trying to really, as you know, I've been lowering my expenses in a lot of ways. I've just been cutting things, and sometimes I think, man, I want that back. I want that thing back, like the YouTube plugin that helps me to be able to know what kind of videos to make, titles, descriptions, etc. And it was $19 a month, and I was like, that's $230 or something a year. Thank you, Angela. Thanks so much. Thank you. So I've been cutting my expenses, and I think that I can't say that I've for sure gotten the haircut down, but check that out. Check that haircut out. I was doing something wrong. I had the one extra spacer on the top of that haircutting thing that I bought, and I took that out and recut my hair today. It is like perfect. It's like a perfect haircut. If I want it to be a little longer, I have to add those small spacers to both the side spacer and the top spacer. Then I can make it that much longer on the sides and the top. Then it'll be even and like the same on both. But thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate that. And she says, I am awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Angela, did you buy something from me recently? Your name is like really familiar. Anyways, I really appreciate a lot of people. I haven't had a lot of orders lately, but I appreciate the people that have been buying things from me. Joseph out in Idaho bought a bunch of like a pillow and a roller, and he bought some extra holes for a previous. Oh, okay, cool. So he bought extra holes from for another pillow, I guess, that he wanted to refill or something. And he bought something else. What did he buy? I don't know, but I really appreciate that. And people have been buying my orthotics lately. And if you've got just a minute, I'd like to show you how my orthotics look now after filling them a second time. And I went for another walk the other day, and it really stretched the leather a lot. I could tell in the beginning of the walk, and it was like a 3-mile walk. I could tell in the beginning of the walk that they were still stretching because it didn't feel like a perfect mold to my feet, and you could see that they were still needing to do a lot of stretching, and they still need to stretch somewhat more, but you can see a lot of difference. Sometimes I get the feeling that if I tell people how I'm really feeling, and I feel like I do today, which is not really very good, kind of down, but if I tell people that I'm down, that people will think that I'm like trying to get them to buy my products and stuff, and then sometimes subconsciously I think, God, maybe I am, maybe I'm looking for a handout, but I'm never really looking for a handout, because I've told you this before. I feel as though I really deserve to be a millionaire. I've said that many times, I know, but it's true. I mean, and my videos deserve to be aired. They deserve to get high ranking, because I teach people stuff that you're not going to get in other places. The thing is that most people, in all honesty, don't want to hear the extreme teachings that I have to offer. And the teachings that I have to me, that I offer, are not really extreme, but they're extreme compared to other people. Because when I tell people that, like for me, to eat whole foods is not extreme. Is that extreme? Write down there in a comment that if you think that that's extreme, that just eating whole foods and not eating any, getting off of wheat and dairy, the most addictive foods, is that extreme? You guys know that I'm not like a full-on freaking raw foodist. I don't do that, you know. I like to get to the point of where I'm eating at least a lot more raw food, and that's going to be another goal, and I can talk about that in a few minutes. But really, I don't think that. I think compared to other people, for me to be able to heal myself in the ways that I've healed, it's been I've had to go to some degrees of extremes. And I guess other people just aren't willing to go that far. But like, check that out. Look at how much millet hulls are in that thing now. And look how much that's stretched. Need some more light here. Can you see how it's conforming? Can you see that, like, that's how my foot looks? See that the rise in between the metatarsals? And where the balls of my feet go? Pretty soon you'll be able to see where every toe indents into that leather. And the longer I wear these, the more you'll be able to see every little tiny curvature of the bottom of my feet. And the more I'll add support to these orthotics. They're absolutely awesome. These orthotics are better than any freaking orthotic out there. But you know what? I really don't want to put them out there too much, because eventually somebody is going to steal my idea. Just like they're stealing my wood roller idea and making them out of freaking plastic. So I have to just kind of keep reminding myself that I'm not here. This life for me isn't supposed to be a life of where I'm striving for some like degree of security, I guess. I don't know. The security that I'm getting is through my health and through knowing that I'm doing good things for people. The people that actually want to utilize my knowledge and my products and whatever. The things that I have to offer. And all of the rest, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, you know, F off all the rest of the people. I have to just kind of get to this place where I'm accepting of the rest of the people and not antagonistic back at them. And that's really not that easy to do. Because I find it so freaking aggravating. I find a lot of them so annoying and disgusting. Yeah. When I go to the store and I see all those great big fat slobs and their carts full of crap, I think to myself, why am I still here? Why am I still subjecting myself to all of this when really what I need is to something else, for sure. I don't know exactly what I need. Do you know what I mean? Are there other people out there that understand where I'm coming from here? I'm not gonna go on with that. Let's ow. So the coronavirus survivors. Okay, so I just talked about how the law of attraction. I admire your raw truth. You speak. Okay. So the last thing I talked about was how you're getting back, you're receiving back from people what you're projecting. And this coincides with the next thing, which is the coronavirus survivors. Okay, so if I go on the internet I go to Google and I put that search coronavirus survivors, there is one website that has all of those stats. If I can find it. Sorry. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you the exact because I can't even find this. But basically, like 700 or 800 people have died of the coronavirus, and roughly 3 times that number have survived. But if you look on the news, you'll see them talking about all the people that have died only. You won't see them talking about the 3 times number of that number of people that have survived, gotten through the coronavirus and survived it. Okay, so I wonder why I can't find that here. Anyways, so that's what I mean about we live in this world where everyone is constantly negative. And for me, tonight, I'm one of them. I'm, for the most part, one of the negative people tonight, but I think I've let people get to me, you know? And it's hard not to do. Sometimes you just want to sing the blues. That's just how it is. But you've got to get yourself back on track if you want to be healthy. And coming out and admitting is always the first thing that you want to do to be able to make a change in your life. Coming out and admitting that you've got this problem. And for me, it's not so much of a problem, but it's more of just whatever you want to call it. I've got it today. So I want to go over a few things that I've told you before, but I think they're important to remember as far as being able to survive something like the coronavirus is concerned. Because you see, the more your body is able to flow, the more you're able to sweat out, shit out, puke out, the more your immune system and your lymphatic system is able to kick out a virus like that. People that are really clogged, they're going to have a hard time getting rid of a virus before it kills them. People that have weak immune systems, people that their body, when they go to sweat and get rid of all that toxicity, their body is also full of a lot of chemicals. People that are addicted to a lot of foods, as soon as they are really nauseous and they can no longer eat, their body is going to go into a major state of elimination. And that major movement of gunk it's very extreme on a body. It's very extreme. And when you've got a temperature, you know, and when you're sweating and losing a lot of fluids, and it's hard to maintain your body, especially if you're trying to get through it on your own at home. If you don't have experience with getting sick and healing and doing things naturally and moving stuff out and replenishing your body, if you don't have experience with all of that, it's going to be a lot harder for you. People that are cleansing masters that have done a lot of healing and cleansing, and they've cleaned a lot of crap out of their bodies, and they know how to replenish their bodies with liquid nutrients, those people have a hell of a lot stronger chance to be able to get through something like the coronavirus. The older you are and the sicker you are, the younger and or weaker you are, the less chance that you have of getting through something like that. And it's all really a matter of, just like the Boy Scout motto says, being prepared. That's the deal. That's the deal. And some people, I can't say for certain that I would be able to get through the coronavirus. I don't know how brutal it is. But I can tell you that I've gotten through a lot of stuff, and I'm not that old. I'm only 54. So it's possible that it's probably probable that I could get through it. I would say it's probably 80%. I'd probably get through it 80% of the time. Fasting naturally. That coincides with that last thing. So lately I've been doing some fasting because my body wants to fast sometimes now. And I think that that's because if you were to test my blood right now, and I've done this once before, for nutrients, all the vitamins and minerals, I would say that I probably have a pretty high level of everything. I can't say for certain because I haven't done that for quite a while. But I think that when your body gets to a place of where you have plenty of vitamins and minerals in your body, trace minerals, and at the same time your body is trying to get rid of bacteria or viruses or chemicals or whatever in your body. If you're doing a self-massage and you're stimulating, like when you're rubbing your ears, like that video I showed you today, you're stimulating all parts of your body. And that includes your organs of elimination and your immune system and everything. When you tap on your chest like this, you're stimulating your thymus. You want to kick your immune system in? Tap on the middle of your chest, right there. And you're very likely, if you keep doing that, you very well might get a fever soon. And some people don't like to get a fever. That's your immune system functioning not the way that it's supposed to. And see, that's just the mindset of somebody that understands and listens to the human body versus somebody that just wants to live life as a quick fix. They want to escape all the natural things because they're unpleasant for them. And maybe they just don't have time to stay home and sleep for a day or two or more. There's no way that they could take a week off of work because they have obligations to their business and making money. And even for me now, it's hard for me to take time off because I'm struggling. I'm still struggling. And I thought that I wouldn't be saying this. And sometimes I think to myself, if you just keep going, you just keep at it, things will get better, things will get better. And sometimes it seems like things are coming around, but other times it really doesn't. It seems like I'm swimming upstream. So I've been fasting sometimes for a half a day, sometimes for a full day. Usually I'll get sick and might have to go throw up. And I'll be like, okay, don't eat until the whole thing settles down. And so I'll wait till my stomach is not nauseated anymore. And I've taken a dump a couple of times. I've pissed stuff out. I've done a lot of sleep. And I'll just rest for the most part, or really taking it easy and not working too physically hard, and not eating any food until I feel like my stomach is saying okay, and my body is saying okay, and I'm really hungry for real now. That's the thing. Listen to your body. Sometimes you'll feel nauseated, but you'll still feel hungry, and then you'll get sick. Well, there's not a lot that you can do about that. You just have to kind of be tougher, be stronger to not eat anything if you know that you don't really have to. That's what you need to do. And it's a good thing. It's all good. It's all good to fast. You're not healing, like when you're fasting, you're healing at about the highest speed. If you're just drinking water, that's about the highest speed that you can heal. Especially, but not if you're working. If you're not resting while you're fasting, if you're pushing it and stuff, mentally or physically, then that might be actually detrimental. That might not be good at all. You have to really listen to yourself to know if you're capable of doing much. And you have to have at least, if you're single like me, you have to at least have enough strength to make food, and the dog needs to be fed, the chickens need to be fed. I still have all of these other responsibilities that I have to take care of, even if I'm walking around here like a freaking mummy, you know? Okay. So lately I've been doing quite a bit of healing, and I look at myself this morning in the mirror and I think I look old. And yeah, these wrinkles around my eyes. Uh, hate that. You know, sometimes I feel like, man, I really look good and I really feel young. And I only want to be with like young women. You know, I only want to hang out with a younger crowd. And but right now, I mean, I don't look good enough to go messing around with young women, even in their 30s or 40s. Like I just feel and look like crap today. But that's how it is. I've told you that before. It's a roller coaster when you're cleansing and healing your body. You may have like darkness under your eyes. You may just be like, because it's not just the way you look, it's the way you sound. It's your voice, you know? And I'm telling you, it's going to be a long time, I'm hoping, before I look like an old man walking. You know how when you see old people walking, they just look stiff. I keep digging out more and more crap from doing that wooden roller, the spine roller, and stimulating my bod and rubbing my feet. I rub my feet every night. I stretch out before I go to bed, and then I sleep better. But I know I'm also releasing more toxins. And the less salt that you eat, the less meat that has a lot of salt and minerals that you're able to eat, the more you're detoxing and cleansing and healing your body. And but there's a price to be paid. There's a price to be paid for all of that. That's one of these. I mentioned the price to be paid. There's always a price to be paid for everything. But you have to go with it. Whatever you know is right, you have to go with it. And if you don't, you're like all those Trump supporters out there that know they're wrong and they know that Donald Trump is such a total freaking, like, unethical loser and a liar and a manipulator. I think that's the word for Donald Trump, a manipulator. And so now watch the numbers. There's 28 people viewing. It's very likely that in the next few seconds, several of them will go. Bam. Need I say more? So, anyways, I've been thinking that I look old, but I've been skin brushing my face. Have you guys seen the little Bernard Jensen's facial brush? It's one of my favorites. Ah! What the hell's my facial brush? Shit. You know, one of the things that I really hate is like misplacing things. Don't you hate it when you can't find something and you just had it a few seconds ago? That's another thing that's been feeling old for me. Like, I haven't been thinking as good lately. And I know that it's just because I'm detoxing. As soon as my blood clears, I'll be feeling better and I'll be clicking like a sewing machine. But yeah, I've been thinking badly and sewing crappily, and or not sewing, but like looking bad. So 32 people, wow. People out in the West are probably joining me now. I've been eating good food, and I haven't had to do an enema for a long time because I've been doing that psyllium shake in the morning, every morning. And I'm telling you, when you're doing that and you know you're detoxing, whenever you take a dump, it's such relief. It is such relief, I'm telling you. Yesterday I was thinking about making some more sauerkraut. Hey Shosne from Thailand, welcome. Let me read a few of the comments before I talk more about making sauerkraut. I look eerie. Joe always says that I look eerie. Do you guys ever use the word eerie? Joe always uses that word, I-R-I-E. Do you guys ever use that? I think he's the only one I've ever heard use that word. I really like Joe, but that's really weird, man. So I look eerie. If I'm 54, you could pass for 45 or 48. Well, great. If you're 54, yeah, there are others who are 54 and they look like they're 75. There's a senior here who's going on 70, but one look and you think that he's 85. You are in your 50s, Brett. Your face looks. It keeps skipping because there's more comments. Face looks younger than that. You don't need to worry about feeling old. Okay. Love the word obscure. Isn't it pronounced ire? I don't know. Do you do lymphatic drainage massage? I don't do like what they call specifically how they describe lymphatic drainage massage, which is just this very light touch. And I think that the reason that I don't do that is because I don't really know. Maybe I just think that it's not effective, but it is. But yeah, I'm quite aware of doing. I did take that class in massage school, but I've really never done much of it on other people the way that it's traditionally described to do it, with the very, very light touch of, like, what did they say? The weight of a nickel, I believe it was described. You use the weight of a nickel, which is not very much. And they say that the reason that the lymph moves for just a very light touch like that, a pumping, it's like a pumping that you do. And you're pumping towards the heart. Pump, pump, pump. And that's supposedly lymphatic drainage massage. And you're also doing it on the neck and near the lymphatic ports, whatever they're called, in here. And for me, my lymphatic system, it seems, it gets moving more when I just do regular massage in those areas. When I just do regular massage and stimulate the lymphatic system with normal massage pressure. And I generally will work my neck like this. And these lymph nodes, the main lymph nodes, and I can feel when I'm really toxic because my lymph nodes in my armpits will be kind of swollen in here. Like right now they are, especially on the left side. But this area also, I sleep on my left side more, and these pec muscles, I believe this pec minor muscle, gets tight because it's getting crunched. And so I have to massage this more often. And I think when I do that, I'm also massaging the lymph nodes in there because there's major lymph nodes in this area. They're also down in here, but those I don't usually focus on for some reason, but I want to just take 1 second to show you guys my orthotics again. Right now they're $85. They're on sale for $10 off. And I've reduced the price on these because I used to sell them for $130 or something. And I decided that, I really need to offer these for less for several different reasons, because I want to sell more of them. I want you to be able to have them. And I don't mind making less money, because this is one of the things that I made more money per hour making. So I'm taking a pay cut so that I can make more of these for y'all. And I'm faster at making them now, so it's not too big a deal. But got my little logo on the bottom of them. So I rubberized the logo right into it so that it can't ever come out. And look how much support that is. That is a massive amount of support for my high arches. And that's what I need. But it's not too much. If I get too much support in there, I can just open the zipper and take some holes out. Just like the pillows, they're totally adjustable. And right now I have my pillows on sale for undyed pillows. Undyed case pillows is $45. And check it out. I made a comparison. I want to show you this. I made a comparison chart on the internet the other day on a free chart making site. And I want to show you this comparison chart because you should know that my Millet Hole pillows are a better value than any of the other Millet Hole pillow makers. Okay? See this? Can you guys see that? Let's see. Wish I could get that at 75%. It keeps going from 50 to 100. In any case, I show the three other people that make Millet Hole pillows here, and all the various options that I think are important. And with my pillows, it's a yes, 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 yes all the way down, but not the deal. And you can see this on my website on the Millet Hole pillow page. It's not the same with the other companies. This one doesn't include a case. This one is not, let's see, organic hulls, but not the fabric. And also the inner material is just very thin, like paper thin. And do they offer beautiful colors and prints? No. Do they have sizes that work best with millet hulls? No. None of them have that. Only my pillows have the wide pillow so that you can bunch it up under your neck really good. So that's one of the things that I've been doing. I've been, writing articles too on my website to try and drive traffic to my site. And so I'm really pulling all the strings to be able to get business from other places besides just my viewers, because I know that most of my viewers don't really have that much money to be able to buy things from me. I wish you did. I wish you did, and I wish you could all afford to have one of my pillows. Some of you live overseas, and it's really expensive to have a 7 or 8 pound package shipped to you. It probably costs. Somebody asked, one of my friends on Facebook lives in Egypt right now. She's married an Egyptian guy, and she wanted a pillow mailed to her, and the shipping for one Millet Hole pillow is $81 to Egypt. The pillow itself was only $55, $45 with the undyed pillows. So that's kind of the sale thing that I have right now going on. I put it in the email that I recently sent just today to people. I won't find that, but yeah, any undyed pillow is $45. So I will get a pillow for sure for my son in March. Do you do blankets? No, I don't do blankets. It might be a good idea for autistic kids love weighted blankets. You know, that's really interesting. This is what I'm talking about with energy, y'all. I had somebody tell me that they wanted to make a some kind of an acorn. I believe it was an acorn shell blanket where they make a blanket like a quilted blanket and they fill it with acorns. And I said, well, what's the significance of that? What does that do for you? And they go, well, it's like a weighted blanket. It creates a big weighted blanket and it feels really good. And that sounds kind of cool, huh? But any kind of a blanket that you make that's quilted with little pockets like that and that could hold a lot of things like that, that would take a lot of work. A lot of work. I don't know that. I think that I'd need like a deep-throated sewing machine to be able to do that. But there's probably a way, certainly, that because most people just have a regular sewing machine. So being near the states in Mexico, shipping would be less costly. No, really, Joe. Like people in Canada, they still have to pay quite a bit for shipping, just because it's over the border. And also, there's always duty. Countries always charge people like an import charge, like a duty they call it, like a percentage of whatever the cost of the item was. And whenever I send something to Great Britain or Canada or Australia or Mexico, wherever, I always have to put what the value of that item is, and then they charge you a percentage of that item, and they call that duty. And most people that buy things from the United States have experience. They already know about all of that. So that makes it even more expensive. My friend Maura lives in the UK. She's the one that wrote that made that little hand-drawn painting of me there. And she really wants to buy one of my pillows. And she's such a good friend that I sent her a $20 coupon because I just want her to have one. She's bought things from me before. She's bought my orthotics from me. And sometimes I do that for people that have been really like good to me and buying my products, good customers, or like really good viewers, etc. I'll give them like a special deal. And I can do that to a degree. But really, I'm always working my ass off around here because I have to do everything. And the thing is that here's the problem. I realize that in the future, the ultimate way to live is like communal, where you live in a society of like-minded people, and that makes it a whole lot easier in so many different ways. So many different ways. But in all honesty, the community that I live in here, I really haven't bonded with the people around this area. When I say community, I mean like people that live within 10 miles of here, whatever. This area, this county, my county here. And the holistic people, the artists and the musicians and the Quakers, etc. I really haven't bonded with them. And I think that my main thing is health and healing, and theirs generally is not. They like art, they like their music. You know how people love their music in the Appalachian Mountains. And that's cool. I love music too, and I've bonded with them a little bit with my singing. I like to go to the open mics and sing, and they seem to enjoy it, etc. But beyond that, one of the most important things to be able to bond with people is like eating together. And you'll notice that any gathering that you go to, any kind of an intimate gathering with people that are getting together, they'll have a potluck or something like that. And for me, I always want to eat organic food. I don't trust a lot of the old people that live here because they don't buy organic food. And they eat quite a bit of meat. There's a lot of things that they don't care about, and their standards are just definitely not up to par with me. And oftentimes also, I'll go to gatherings here, and they'll have a wood-burning stove in the wintertime, that is leaking smoke so bad into the room. It's just toxic. They have a contra dance here, and I've gone to it and walked in there, and you can hardly see across the room at the beginning of the dance. And I'm like, you mean I'm going to dance and exercise in a room full of smoke? Are you freaking kidding me? And they act like it's no big deal. And I'm telling you, people don't get it. So many people don't get it. We have a little co-op here, and they have a leaky wood-burning stove in that too. And I just don't want to go. I don't want to go. You know, I had a wood-burning stove in here. I took it. It's down in the basement now because I don't use it. I used it one time when I first moved in here just to see how smoky it was. Screw this. I am not going to use this at all. So, yeah, I just don't find that it's probably the thing that hurts my health. My loneliness and inability to find people that I'm compatible with, whether it be lovers or friends, whatever. That kills me probably more than anything else, in all honesty. Because I think that I could be a really communal person, or like a really like sociable person. But I feel like I'm bound. I feel like I'm just not able to go out. I don't feel comfortable with talking to people, because if I talk to people about the things that I want to talk about, how many of y'all think that they'll want to talk back? It'll make just like an uncomfortable situation if I do that. And so it's not worth even trying. So what I've done for the last, since I moved to Asheville and before, is I'll just go walk amongst people and see if I can stand it. And see if I can stand. Because like just looking at people, like I've told you, they don't look healthy. And I felt for a long time that I want to live, I deserve to live in a place where people are freaking beautiful and they actually think and consider things that matter. And your health is number one, baby. And if your health isn't number one in your life, if you're not doing all the things that you need to be doing as much as you can to protect yourself from all the garbage, the crap in this world that's in the air, food, and the water, then you really don't have your priorities in order. They're out of whack. And that's what you get when you see all those people in line at McDonald's and all the rest of those freaking places. They're people that are ignorant. So, that's about it. That is about it, y'all. I've covered it all. Once again, the toothbrushes, the link for that is in the description box down below. And I could read a few comments. 54 and not yet out the door. Duty here, it's Aduna free. Here it's Aduna free. Yeah, that friend I mentioned the other day, Pedro, he observant, and you'll see that there are so many unhealthy people out there. Sad, seems like they prefer the quick fix, seeing their doctor. Yeah. I just don't live in that world. And the thing is that the doctors, like, we have a place here, a health center. We have a health center. I won't say the name of that health center, but I've been in there a couple of times to try and promote my products. It is the exact same deal as every other time that I've gone to like a physical therapist or wherever office, and I try and introduce them to natural and healthy products that actually do something, that actually get the job done, where you have to train the patient, client and you have to train them how to do the work on their own at home, they don't want to have anything to do with me. Nothing. So even the other day when I went and trained people at the chiropractor's or the physical therapist's office, the guy that owns this property that I live on, he's a physical therapist, and he bought a foot friend from me. And I went to his office and trying to cut him and one other person there, and it just didn't seem as though they were really paying attention to me. I was telling them this stuff, and it was like they couldn't handle it. It was like they couldn't handle what I was telling them, or they didn't want to really hear it that much. It was kind of like it was going in one ear and right out the other. And that's what I've experienced with people that are afraid, or maybe their plate is too full. Their plate is too full to handle anymore. And that's kind of how I feel right now. But right now, so you know, I do not have even one job. I finished my last job yesterday. So I do not have any pillows on the pillows or body pillows or rollers or anything to make. And so if you'd like to get one, you can go to brettsnaturalhealth.com and I'll get right on it and make you one. So I want to thank everybody for joining me, and I hope that you are doing well. Good night. Have a great week.